Coming to a general quadratic expression. Now, here also you have a quadratic expression, which is basically a quadratic expression in two variables. So here you have two variables, x and y. Remember, every two-dimensional figure, we've seen throughout coordinate geometry, we have been using this polynomial ax square plus 2hx square plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. This can represent your circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola, straight lines, everything, right? So whenever you have this general quadratic expression, you can sometimes convert it into linear 1 into linear 2 is equal to quadratic form. So this is your quadratic form. If you can convert it into the equation of two straight lines as a product of two straight lines, then you can solve those straight lines separately, right? So how do I check whether I can actually convert this quadratic into this form? Well, for that, the condition for this to be a pair of straight lines, right? That's coming from the coordinate geometry. So your delta should be equal to 0. And what was delta, if you remember? Delta was nothing but all hostel girls have boyfriends gone for cinema. If you remember this, I already told this to you. This is what delta is. All hostel girls have boyfriends gone for cinema. In fact, if you even read it in the horizontal manner, all hostel girls have boyfriends gone for cinema. So whether you read it like this or you read it like this, you'll still get the same result, right? So this is delta. So if this is your quadratic expression, this is the delta for it. This delta should be 0. Basically this is the determinant of this matrix. The determinant of this matrix should be 0. If the determinant is 0, then I can always convert this into this form and this form, right? So also your h square should be greater than ab. So majorly this is the condition that you will verify, and if this condition is verified, you will try to convert this general quadratic expression into linear 1 into linear 2 form, because only then they are convertible, right? So for example, if I have something like 2x plus 3y plus 1 into 4x plus 2y plus 8 is equal to 0, you can multiply them and it will take this form. Sometimes your job will be to convert from this form back into these two, right? And there are techniques for that. There are certain observatory techniques which you will use for doing that. That's not really relevant for us right now. If at all you get something, it will not be very, very difficult. So, but nevertheless, I just wanted to bring this topic up as to the fact that this is also a quadratic expression. Just that here you have two variables, x and y, and usually you have been seeing ax square plus bx plus c, which just has one variable x, right? So when you get to this, don't get confused. Even this is a quadratic expression. So with this done, let's move on to the next subtopic.